Hi customers, this is a beautiful day today. Thought it'd be another good day for a video. One thing that we haven't got into yet is what does it look like underneath the shingles. A lot of customers talk to me about what brand of shingles are we using, why are we using that brand. Everybody's caught up on the shingle. The shingle is important. It is the main barrier between the outside elements and the interior of your home. Not discounting that. That being said, the shingle doesn't live up to its name if you don't do the underlayments correctly, the flashings correctly, the ventilation correctly, and all those things I feel could make an inferior shingle a superior shingle compared to a superior shingle that didn't have those items installed correctly. So just wanted to touch base on some of the things that we do with underlayments, what brands we use, and why we trust those brands. So got the glasses on, sorry about that. Let me kind of get right into it here. So here we are, doing a roof on college today, and what you have here, so this black material here, that's called ice and water barrier. Ice and water barrier is used for installation at the eaves when to help protect against damage caused by ice damming. It doesn't prevent ice damming, but what it does is prevents the damage that could be caused by ice damming. So when the ice gets underneath the shingles and breaks its way underneath, when it melts, rather than going into your decking or past the felt paper and damaging inside your home, it melts and comes down this ice barrier and right into the gutter. So first thing with that is, how do you know how much to install? How long? We have 6 foot installed on this eave, and let me show you the reasons why. So everything that we do, we try to do according to code, right? So if we know that a code exists, we're going to install it to code. And the code, show you a tape measure here, is 2 foot past the exterior wall plus your eave measurement. So we're sitting there at about 2.5 foot on this eave, and I know that I'm counting the gutter, but the gutter is the same width of the interior wall itself. So in this case, let's say that's 2.5 foot, and the code is 2 foot past the exterior wall, so 2 foot inside the home. The code for this house is 4.5 foot. So let's put 4.5 foot out here. So here we are, 54 inches. We're past code by over a foot. So it comes with 3 foot rolls. We always install 2 rows just to be safe and make sure that we're code compliant. On this house, we're quite a bit past code compliance. I've done some posts in the past about ice and water shield over porches. You know, the porches become super eaves. Sometimes you have recessed entryways. Those are considered eaves as well. So we need to make sure that we're installing 2 foot past the exterior wall, even in those areas. And one thing I want to make sure people know, that this material is not a cheap material, but it's a necessary material to make sure that your home is protected long-term against ice damming. And sometimes ice damming might not occur unless we're met with extreme differences in temperature, sustained cold spells, you know, if it's negative 20 for a week, 2 weeks, and your home is not properly insulated and ventilated. Even when it is, ice damming can happen, and this will protect the damage caused by ice damming. So very important material there. Another thing, quick note about the install, if you look here, we have it overlapping over the drip edge, and over here we have the drip edge over top of the edge. The reason that is water flows downhill, right? So this is code. If we'd install the drip edge over top of the ice and water barrier here, it would not be code. So very small detail here, but all the importance on protecting that eave and protecting the wood if an ice dam were to occur, or just normal water flow. So let me get into some of the other items up here. So this stuff is called synthetic felt. You might have looked at that black stuff and said, hey, that looks like felt paper. That's just old felt paper. Well, it's not. It's a self-adhesive material that sticks down to the deck. And because this material is such a good material from Owens Corning, it actually binds with the wood material and over time will basically become one with that wood deck. So a very good material here. This right here is more comparable to that 15-pound felt paper that most people are familiar with. And what the difference is between this and that is this won't tear when we walk on it. So biggest reason we use this on our job sites is employee safety. We want to make sure that people aren't getting hurt. They don't slip on this because it doesn't tear when you walk on it. The thing that you gain as a customer is it's much more water resistant than 15-pound felt. 15-pound felt can actually absorb water. If you ever, you probably don't do this, but we run into roofs all the time where we tear it off, and we haven't had rain for weeks, but that felt paper is holding water. When we ever have to tear off a roof that has synthetic felt on it, we don't have that. It's because this material repels that water a lot better. So that's what's going on there. We'll come back over to this valley because I know you guys know that I get obsessed with valleys. Here, before I get to the valley, here's a good point. So if you look at this ridge vent right here, this is cut in. This customer didn't have a ridge vent, so we're bringing this up to code. So they have an exhaust ventilation. They had two box vents before, and it's just not up to code compliance for the flow that this attic space needed. You wouldn't believe how many times we rip off a roof, take off the existing ridge vent, and this isn't cut. So we have this hole here, so that way that vent can actually do its job and get ventilated. Whenever you choose Right Rate Roofing, we're going to send you pictures and photos of the whole process as we go. So that way you know that you're getting what you paid for and what we explained when we signed you up. So here's our valley system. So if you look at our valleys here, here's the 6-foot ice and water, right? Just like the same on the on the back side of the house is we still have the 6-foot. On these eaves, they're actually only 12-inch eaves, so compliance on this, just called half a foot for the wall. Compliance on this would be 3.5 foot. Again, we still stick with the same 6 foot. So whenever you're choosing Right Rate Roofing, you're getting well past code expectations. But here's kind of, we showed you those valleys in the past, but you couldn't see all this. This is why it's important to know what you're getting underneath your shingles. So not only does this valley gonna get the shingle process that I showed you in the previous video, some people call it a California cut. We add the starter strip to it. Basically, we're installing it per manufacturer instructions. But what you're getting here is you're getting a row of ice and water. So you can kind of see it here along the edges. So you're getting 3 foot of ice and water down this valley. We're also doing this aluminum down the valley, and then we're doing that shingle over that. So with our system, you're getting 3 layers of protection. You're getting the ice and water barrier, you're getting the metal, and then you're also getting the shingles and installed correctly. So that's a little bit about how we install some of the materials. Every project has a little bit of uniqueness. This one was fairly basic, so it's really easy to show you guys what it is that we're doing with the materials. Now, the next question is what brand we're using. Owens Corning is the higher grade one, and we just had some leftover from that, so this customer is actually getting a little bit of an upgrade just because we had some leftover material that we do from job to job. But so we use Owens Corning. So Owens Corning, all their products work in conjunction with each other. The biggest thing with Owens Corning is they meet all of the code requirements for manufacturing materials. So just like our building practices have code, so does the manufacturers for their building materials. And with Owens Corning, we know that we're getting that. They have UL ratings for fire ratings and several other different code compliances. We don't manufacture materials. We just want to pay attention to how they're installed. But that's why we choose them, and we trust Owens Corning to make sure that their products are meeting those codes. And I bring this up because as a roofing contractor, on a weekly basis, I have some supplier contacting me, several different suppliers. It's a different one every single week, that wants to sell us bulk materials. So while there is sometimes an advantage to buying materials in bulk, and we work with RP Lumber, like I've stated in the past, to come up with the best pricing possible, but there's other suppliers out there that are offering, it's not brand specific, or maybe it has brands, but they're saying, hey, ice and water shield, and they're not brand specific. Synthetic felt, and they're not brand specific. And those materials are about 30% of my total cost on those same materials from Owens Corning. And the reason I bring that up is you need to make sure that your contractor that you choose, hopefully it's Right Rate Roofing, but if you choose somebody else, part of what we're doing is educating you. So when you choose somebody else, you can ask these questions, is knowing what materials they're using for every aspect. I can't stress enough that the shingles are important, but they're not the only thing. And it could be that even if it's a really good shingle, if they're not using the appropriate underlayments, that it's actually it becomes an inferior product when not using the appropriately branded underlayments and appropriately installed underlayments. So we use Owens Corning, and if you want to hear more about the website, more about our system, you can visit our website and go to the materials page, and you can look at the shingles for sure, but underneath that is about the whole roof system from Owens Corning. There's a lot of thoughts, processes going through Owens Corning to come up with these materials, and they truly feel that they are the best on the market. My company aligns with those same thoughts. We truly feel that they're the best on the market. And if you'd like to hear more from us as far as a roof quote, you can select the link above, below and select free quote. Fill all that information out. One thing in particular, there's a little red marker on the Google map. If you just use your finger and grab that marker and put it right over top of your house, it makes it a lot easier for us to get that estimate. Most estimates we're going to get back within 24 hours. We take a lot of pride in that. And we'll get that to you in an efficient manner. If you're just wanting to reach out to us and ask some questions about your roof system, or maybe you just want to talk roofing, we're good with that. The last couple videos has turned out a lot of questions. A lot of people just wanted to talk about roofing in general. We're very passionate at Right Rate Roofing, and what we want to do is make sure that our customers know that, and that we're known in the community to be a leader in roof installation. So please check out the website. It's rightrateroofing.com. It's spelled R-I-G-H-T, rate, so grammatically correct, rightrateroofing.com, and select free quote to get your free quote. Thank you, customers. Have a good day.